without influencing his opinion. Okay. That is the only way the country can move forward, yes.
Okay, and still on this issue of court orders, we've had the president mention that there are some judges, magistrates who are out there and are keen on frustrating government projects. And then the question would be, legally, if there are judges, magistrates who are keen on frustrating, why not go after them through the legal means, the constitutional route, the JSC and whatnot, instead of political declarations on political platforms that might not heed the necessary results? Your view on that?
Yeah, the first thing is outside the legal framework, or rather not discussing whether or not the AG gives advice, there's an old Shakespearean saying that advisors suffer no risks. So you're an advisor, legal advisor, whatever it is, you don't suffer any risk. It's the principal who takes the decision. Now, sometimes leaders are expected to take unpopular decisions, which are still within the legal framework. And in my view, leadership, when you become a leader, you are invited to take decisions, unpopular or otherwise, provided they serve national and public interest, and provided they're anchored within the law. Because there are a number of elected leaders who fear taking decisions because they don't know what is going to happen 5 years later. They may be penalized taking the decisions. Okay. And the president has indicated that he did not win office to start campaigning for a second term. He won office to deliver. So if it means taking those unpopular decisions for the sake of morale, so be it. Then secondly, and an important question that you raise, how do we make progress as a nation while we respect the rule of law and order? Let everybody do their rightful thing. When you go to office in the morning, you've got a job description. Please deliver as the law demands you to deliver. Let's run from excuses saying that I got a call from a high office, or they say that a poor workman will always blame his jembe. So let's stop blaming jembes and deliver for the nation.
Okay. Well,
you asked him, what about this part between the judiciary?
No, I was actually coming to that. It's except my mind. Now, that one, in my view, is a very exciting subject. Because the head of state, the cabinet secretaries, or anybody in Kenya, this is a gentleman who defends the constitution. Every Kenyan has got the right to express their views. So if the president is expressing his view, it's okay. How many times do we criticize the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Speaker of the Senate, and they don't lose their cool? How many times do we criticize the president? He has even told us his name. All the way in Japan, he's telling the Japanese people how Kenyans are making reference to him. The question then goes back to, the root cause is that when the president makes that statement, does it compromise judiciary's independence as an institution? And then does it compromise decisional independence of the various judges? Of course it doesn't. It does not. Because even after he made those statements, a few days later, judges have been issuing rulings, directions, orders, which have stopped a number of government projects. The question is, the germane question that Anyaribo is not going to answer right now is, do we have corrupt judges? Of course we do. Is there evidence? Of course we do. What is the purpose of the Judicial Service Commission? Is to pick out those people. And the Judicial Service Commission has actually picked a few and told them to go home. True. So we cannot sit here and claim that all the judges, we are told, are like Caesar's wife. There are few, probably 1% or 0.1%.
But then this must tell me, it's okay to voice your concerns, freedom of expression, but is it truly okay to voice concerns against judges, but not go the step forward and file a legal complaint?
Then correct the percentage as well.
Yeah, you see what he did not, what he didn't do, he did not name names that are XYZ, XYZ. He just said that I've got information and I'm frustrated. Now, you and I, we don't know whether he has filed those before the Judicial Service Commission. So the Judicial Service Commission sits in a very good place where he wants to go to establish whether or not he has filed the information.
Briefly,
He speaks on behalf of the Judicial Service
by
Commission.
the way, you cannot demean the stature of head of state to what my good friend is saying, that the president is just, free speech. He's just expressing himself. No. That is a head of state. If you sit with the president here, it will not be the same mood like you're sitting with Jesse. that is the nature of things. So he is carrying with him on his shoulders the people of this country. So for him to go and say that our judiciary, now he has influenced you to think that the judiciary has 1.5% correct judges. You see, already he has already actually won the battle.
No, I said it may.
As against you. We need a forum and a proper debate about what is corrupt and who is corrupt. There are so many people who walk in town and they say, I know Judge so-and-so, I'm going to see him for you. You are so foolish. You're giving somebody money in the street and it is this money eating. And we have this. I have seen it on several clips since 5-7 years back, where some people within the judiciary, especially the staff, the lower staff, I mean the clerks and all that, they have been fired because they lied walking in the street saying, Judge so-and-so has told me, if you give me 2 million, he will give you the order. Funny enough, you give the 2 million, the judge gives the order. It's coincidental, and you tell him, I know this guy. We are blackmailing an innocent human being sitting over there. So that's why we are saying, first, the head of state cannot be saying that judges are corrupt. He must speak out. We found 2, 3, 4 in the last 2 years, they have gone home. Now, we must consistently do that. When I look at so many clean judges, honestly, so many, being lumped up and said, these are very corrupt people. So now, we have people now taking other people's land, simply walking into somebody's compound and saying, which order do you have? Because this is not his friend or from his backyard, he throws into the dustbin and says, he land in Yenu. This we must names, stop. Yeah. Lastly, the head of state saying that judiciary is corrupt is very dangerous for the country. Because when you want to do that arbitration between you and another international organization, the other team will say, no, we are afraid because in your country, things are very corrupt, so we cannot subscribe to, we cannot ascribe to your laws. Let us refer to the laws of Cayman Island or the laws of United Kingdom. Yes. So he is the last person. In fact, we expect him to be kind enough to come back and say, we have now sat with the Chief Justice, we have looked at everything and we find that the judges are actually correct. But we have also agreed that continuously we will do a cleanup, so we will be finding who is not right. That will help the country. But to come up and say that, all of you are corrupt, that is really the worst thing you can do for the nation.
And do you pick issue with the president, in extension the executive, having a sit down with the judiciary, Chief Justice Martha Koome? Because there are those who mention that
I can tell you, I have an answer already.
Of bad times coming.
No. Let me tell you, it's only timing.
Okay.
It is just the timing. Having attacked them, then calling them. But corporate governance demands that institutions come together. And again, they did not go into some dark place.
Yeah.
They met, whether you meet at State House or you agree to meet in the Serena or you go to the judiciary, in proper management. And this is where I think some legal professionals actually mislead others, mislead the country. That meeting was not to influence anyone. The issue was, we have had a lot of fights recently publicly, and that sitting together is good. And Jess, you didn't ask me this, but honestly, where the country is going now, the head of state needs to sit down with the opposition and also neutralize this because people think that everything is gone and they're desperate.
All right.
I know this ones will not like it now, but I think something like a government of national unity, a grand unity one more time, could actually cool down the temperatures and people will now start accepting. But if the president is going to isolate himself with his technocrats, quote unquote, I think that the country will continue to feel the pain of what it's feeling still here.
Interesting point. Anyway, away from matters of grand national unity and whatnot, let's talk about President's diary. Just last week,